Tonight, the high-profile executive behind a fallen fashion empire, Peter Nygard, convicted of sexual assault.
The jury has spoken.
The Canadian businessman found guilty on 4 counts.
There's something evil in there. There's something perverse. There's something sick.
The reaction and the relief for victims.
This is a battle won in a much bigger war.
More Canadians get out of Gaza.
We can't wait to see his face.
The Rafah border crossing reopens as calls grow stronger for a ceasefire and the release of hostages. Plus, a former NHL coach opens up about facing adversity off the ice.
Once I started doing it, all the emotions kept coming back.
How Ted Nolan is tackling his toughest opponent yet.
CTV National News with Heather Butts.
Good evening. Former fashion mogul Peter Nygard, who once led a billion-dollar clothing brand, has a new label tonight, guilty. And his son wasted no time passing his own judgment.
We are dealing with a systematic monster who used his business talents for evil.
A Toronto jury found Nygard guilty of 4 counts of sexual assault, handing down the verdict on their 5th day of deliberations. This is the first criminal conviction against the 82-year-old who is still facing charges in other Canadian cities and the U.S. CTV's Kamal Karamali with reaction from the courthouse.
Guilty. Guilty for you.
A wave of relief outside the Ontario Superior Courthouse.
I'm so proud of you.
Therapist Shannon Mahoney making the phone call Peter Nygard's victims have been waiting for. The former Canadian fashion mogul guilty on 4 counts of sexual assault. Nygard showing no emotion as the jurors handed down the verdict following 5 days of deliberations.
To actually hear it, it's just a very, very good shock.
The 82-year-old transported from the courthouse back to jail, where he'll be awaiting sentencing.
He has more formal accusations than Epstein, Weinstein, and Cosby combined.
Today, a bittersweet victory for Nygard's son, Kai, who said he'd been warning the public of his father's alleged actions for years.
It's not a good brand association to be the son of a monster. I've zero benefit from this other than knowing that one more child won't be affected. One more woman won't be affected.
Nygard accused of attacking women in a private bedroom suite at his Toronto office building between the 1980s to the mid-2000s.
Everyone who came forward here is to be commended.
Although found guilty on 4 counts, Nygard was acquitted of a 5th count of sexual assault and a charge of forcible confinement. His lawyer now considering an appeal.
Mr. Nygard is frail, has numerous health challenges, and that will be part of the position taken.
Peter Nygard is still facing criminal charges in 3 other jurisdictions, including the United States. None of those charges in those jurisdictions have been tested in court.
Thank you.
But for his victims, a feeling of justice.
We did it.
Now hoping to focus on healing. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Police are dealing with rising Islamophobia and anti-Semitism since
Big
war broke
lesson
out.
from a young person about finding the courage to vanquish the worry monster in all of us.
Facing your fears can be scary, but once you face them, they won't be your fears anymore.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
That is our show for this Sunday. For those celebrating, happy Diwali. I'm Heather Butts. Thank you for watching. Sandy Ronaldo will be here tomorrow for CTV's new national newscast at 5:30, followed by the evening newscast with Omar Sachedina. Good night.
Canadians have turned to CTV National News for more than 60 years.
And now there's a new national newscast at 5:30.
It's more of the news you trust.
More of the experience you rely on.
Watch Canada's #1 national news now at 5:30 and 11.